Let me tell you about a beautiful feeling, the kind of feeling that gives you instant dopamine. When your girl suggests a game she thinks you might like, and she's absolutely correct. Because let's be honest, most of the time when someone recommends a game, it's like, bro, trust me, it's amazing. And then 3 hours later, you're sitting there wondering, why the fuck am I playing Spreadsheet Simulator 9000? But this time, she showed me a game and I immediately thought, yeah, I might have to marry this woman. If it would have been Undertale, maybe we're talking engagement, but she suggested Mother 3. That's a wedding level recommendation. Now, if you never heard of Mother 3, that's actually pretty normal, because despite being one of the most beloved RPGs ever made, the game was never officially released in the West, which means most people discovered it through a legendary fan translation. And honestly, that alone already gives the game mythical status. It's like a secret RPG society where everyone whispers, have you played Mother 3 yet? And if you say yes, they nod at you like you passed some emotional trial. So the game starts in this peaceful little village called Tazmily. Everything is calm, nature, music, friendly neighbors. It feels like the type of place where nothing bad could possibly happen, right? Which is exactly the moment where you should start worrying, because this game has a deceptively cute art style. Characters look friendly, the world looks colorful, but underneath that, Mother 3 will emotionally jump you in a dark alley. The story follows Lucas. Man, I miss that little dude. A quiet kid who ends up going through some of the most surprisingly heavy moments I've ever seen in a Game Boy game. And when I say heavy, I mean the kind of moments where you suddenly stop playing and stare at the screen like, why am I feeling emotions from a cartridge the size of a chicken nugget? Damn, reused joke. My bad, fellas. Anyways, this game does not pull any punches, but at the same time it's also hilarious. Mother 3 has this bizarre sense of humor where the game constantly throws weird characters and situations at you. You'll meet strange soldiers wearing pig masks. Yes, actual pig masks. The villains in the game are basically the pig mask army, which sounds ridiculous until you realize they're actually part of a much bigger story. The whole thing feels like someone mixed a heartfelt RPG with complete nonsense energy, and it works perfectly. Gameplay-wise, it's a classic turn-based RPG, but there's a little twist. Battles have this rhythm mechanic where you can chain attacks by pressing the button to the beat of the music, which means fights turns into this weird combination of strategy and rhythm game. And when you finally land a long-ass combo, you feel like a musical martial artist, like you were conducting an orchestra of violence. Speaking of music, the soundtrack in this game is incredible. Some tracks are peaceful and emotional, others sound like the composer decided to experiment with every instrument on earth at once. And somehow the music perfectly matches the tone shifts of the story. One minute the game is goofy, next minute it's heartbreaking. Then suddenly you're fighting bizarre enemies while the soundtrack goes absolutely bananas. And that's really what makes Mother 3 so special. It's a game that constantly changes tone. Funny, sad, weird, emotional, ridiculous, horny. No, not the last one. And instead of feeling messy, it feels like a very deliberate roller coaster. By the time the story reaches its final chapters, you realize you've been through something way bigger than a normal RPG adventure.